What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Unveil Paranormal. Welcome to another Friday night. I got the green ambiance on for St. Patty's Day, showing love there. I have a friend here. My daughter, Aurora, has jumped in here. She wants to kind of peruse on tonight's show. All right, just getting a few things pulled up here. Okay, cool. All right, everybody. So tonight's show, as you see it in the description, is all about team dynamics and paranormal teams. I want to make this an open discussion, which means I want to interact with you as the viewer and talk about your experience being part of a paranormal team. Not just the negatives. Let's add some positivity out there while we can, guys, okay? Aurora, do you want to say anything?
I don't know.
What's a team mean to you?
People who...
When somebody says we're going to work together, do a project as a team, what does that tell you?
People who can actually cooperate and stuff, I guess.
Yeah? Teamwork is all about cooperation?
Yeah.
Getting along? Working together, right?
Yeah.
We all know what a team means. We learn this stuff in school. That's why she knows what a team is, right? But we see in the paranormal field, being a part of a team has its positives and has its negatives, right? We all know this. Would you ever be part of a paranormal team?
No.
No? Would you ever going to go investigate?
Maybe.
Maybe. Hey, Brad. So I really want to interact with you guys tonight and discuss all about being part of a team. Are you planning on staying the whole show?
No.
Are you just saying hello?
Yeah.
Just want to say hello.
I'll just be in here for a little bit.
Huh?
I'll just be in here for a little bit.
Okay. All right. She's just going to hang out for a little bit. All right, guys. So let me adjust these. All right. Fix that. All right, guys. So I'm going to talk about, first and foremost, my first experience being on a team. And the reason I want to talk about it is because it was a very interesting experience. It was good, and then it was ugly, and then it was really bad. So my first experience personally on a team happened in 2016. So when I was first starting to get into the field and I went on my first investigation, it was at the old Blackford County Jail. It was a team that was putting on that event, okay? It was like $15 to go, but there was like 20 people or something like that, right? This is a team who still they're disbanded since then. I was actually one of the last people to leave the team because I have a stupid loyalty complex. So I just refused to leave that situation. But it was also a big learning lesson for me to help me determine if I want to be on a team or if I want to have my own team, you know, the whole dynamic, if it's something for me or not, right, guys? So I joined this team because basically I go in on this investigation with them. I get along with the leader pretty well. I kind of get along with some of the other team members. Like, I really didn't get to know them as well as I did the main leader. And until later on in life, actually, a couple years later, I really got to know them a lot more. And it was good. It was fine. She booked all the stuff. I just had to pay like $15, $20 to go on the investigation with them, even though I was part of the team. We still tried to split the cost, but they were usually public events. Every month we would go, which I loved. I loved having the ability to go investigate on a monthly basis. That's something I try to still do on my own, which is a lot harder. But back then it was kind of nice. But then you didn't know who you're going to get there because they were always public events. It was never a private investigation. I went on that wasn't even private. I went on one investigation where only the team was invited, but it wasn't a private investigation. We went to Waverly Hills, and it was basically a public investigation, but only the team got invited, as opposed to all the other investigations it's a public investigation. I'm selling tickets, and this is what it is. So never really had publics. I don't think I did any residentials with that team. I did residentials on my own. I was asked to do them during that time while I was with that team. I was with the team for about probably 2 years. Hey, Moore. Hey, Joanne. Hey, Brad. Welcome. We're talking about team dynamics in the paranormal field. So the good, bad, and ugly. All right. And I'm just telling a little bit about my first experience on a team. So I found some flaws within the whole being on a team in the paranormal field. I found some flaws. I found some good things. One good thing was I could go on an investigation. I could afford an investigation. I had other people I could split that cost with. Other people were helping book those locations. Other people had equipment, so I didn't have to go out instantly and purchase all the equipment that I wanted to use on these investigations. We could share. Like, it's just overall cheaper to be a part of a team. You can bunk together, you can drive together, all that. So cheaper, yes, 100%. The other thing is, they weren't content creators, so they didn't post stuff online or anything like that. So we didn't do any of that. But if you were on a team that does that stuff, like, it'd be nice because then they can help review evidence and they can help watch the videos and they can help upload stuff online. So that's a really nice thing if you want to have content online. The other valuable thing I see about having a team is just having other people that you can build relationships with, positive relationships, hopefully, and they really become your friends, and you can talk to them. You go to work and you can't talk about this stuff, but you can talk to your friends. So those are some positives. Some negatives that I found with the first team is we all had different goals. There were people on the team that literally, they just want to have fun. They just want to investigate. They don't care about selling tickets. They don't care about getting evidence and putting it online. They just want to have fun. They just want to investigate because they love doing it. They're not out there for fame. They're not out there for money. They're not out there for anything. There were people on the team who were profiting off of the events. And events they didn't even show up to. They would sell tickets. Other team members would show up, and we'd have to hold the reins. And they kept all the money. That's not really what it was for. That's another reason I do my events nonprofit. I don't want to be that person. It's just a personal value thing. Will you turn that fan on, hon? Yeah. And then there was just a variety of different people. Now, I think some teams are. A lot of times I see a lot of these teams come together, their friendships that have built prior to investigating. Somebody says, hey, I love to go investigating. And the other friend is like, hey, they've been for a couple years or longer, or lifetime friends, childhood friends. I believe Things Network has some of that dynamic going on in it. Or not Things Network, Things the team. And guys, you just got to be smart about it if you want to be part of a paranormal team, So my first experience ended not great. Like I said, many people have left the team prior to me leaving. When it was all said and done, it was me and the leader, and I ended up leaving on the pretense that I wanted to go off on my own and do my own thing, which was true. I did actually want to go off and do my own thing. I had already started creating my own page for Medium Empath Clarissa. So I wanted to go, that direction. I wanted to do more medium stuff. I was getting individual requests to do residentials. I was getting individual requests to go on ghost hunts because as I went on these events with the team I was a part of, I met new people in the field. So that's another thing to keep in mind. that's one positive thing I do like about events is meeting other people in the field. We're not just chit-chatting on Facebook. We're not just chit-chatting on TikTok. We're chit-chatting in person. We can see how you investigate, what type of person you are, all that stuff. So that's one thing I did really like about the events we did as a team was I made a lot of friends. I have friends that every year, I think just about every year, at least once a year, I met them through an event, through this team, and we became good friends. And I always get an invite to like one of their biggest ghost hunts, and they're just ghost hunters. They don't have a platform, none of that stuff. They're just friends I made, and it's awesome. What'd you say, Brett? Here, I've kind of developed my team from previous teams I was on. I cherry picked who I have currently. Yeah. So, Brad, you have several platforms, but different names online for different teams that you have created. So you have like several teams, but it seems like each team has like the same people in it. But yes, you do kind of cherry pick them over time, which I totally get why you would do that. Because when you're out and you're investigating, you're doing all that stuff, you learn who you vibe with and who you don't. Who has the same goals as you? Who has the same investigation style as you? Everybody's different. There's some people who are primarily like, I only want to go in as myself and do energy work or do a reading of the place. There's people who are more tech people. They want to get all the photos they can, all the videos they can, compile it up. Some people love doing EVPs. Like the equipment we have can change like what style we like. Like I like to go in and be a medium, but I'm a mix of all that. I like evidence. I like audibly hearing what's going on. So visual stuff. I also like EVPs, spirit box, stuff like that, because I don't want to take away from I don't want to go into investigation and only do one aspect of that investigation unless it's what I'm specifically asked to do. So if I'm there to be a medium, then I'm there to be a medium. But if I'm on an investigation, private, public, like at a pay-to-play venue, that's what Brad calls it, pay-to-play. I've been using that term lately. Pay-to-play place, I'm going to do a variety of things, So your investigation style is going to vary from team member to team member to team member. So you have to keep that in mind. I don't know that it's smart to have two mediums on a team. Maybe it is. I mean, over the years, it just seems like everybody's a sensitive, which everybody has a natural human ability and intuition. Everybody does. We obviously do. It can be based on location. Yeah, true. The style you want to use when you're investigating absolutely could be based on location. 100%. If something's reported that they have usually, I don't know, a lot of shadows, maybe get your laser grid out. Something that's very audible, make sure you have those EVPs rolling. And what may or may not be needed based on case. Yep, true. Absolutely. I don't know that there would be a case where you don't need a medium. I see value in them, obviously, because I'm biased. But yeah. Do you want to join in?
Yeah.
Okay, what do you want to say?
Being on a team can also be like being in a group, because I was in a friend group and we were kind of like a team. Like,
yeah.
I don't know how to explain.
So, like, did each friend group? Because, like, you're in middle school. Middle schools, y'all know, is when cliques start happening. Everybody starts spreading out to different friends, as opposed to elementary, where everybody's just kind of friends with everybody. So, do each and every one of you have different personalities?
Well, yeah.
Like, is there somebody in the group that's dramatic?
Like,
is there a dramatic person?
Yeah.
Is there a more mature person?
Me.
You're the more mature one?
I'm the only mature
Like, there's a smart person. There's a person who makes poor decisions.
Yeah.
There's all that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So a team can be like that. A team is just a lot like that. There's personality. There's a lot of different personalities in the paranormal field. We are not all the same. I have met so many weirdos. I have met so many people that I would never think would be in this type of stuff. We had a good blend of people at Geyer, and they were all pretty sensitive. Yeah. So what Brad's talking about, since we're talking about when I said, I don't know that you want to have more than one medium in a group. The Geyer would be an example of, well, yeah, maybe it is valuable to have more than one medium in a group. At the Geyer Opera House, we had 4 people. This was an investigation I did about 2 weeks ago. We had 4 people. Me, who says I'm a medium. My sister, who I think since we're twins, maybe she has something going on. We had Brad, and Brad says he's a sensitive and believes he may have gifts. And then we had Sky, who believes she may have gifts. So 4 people who either say they are sensitives or I'm hoping it is a sensitive, all together. And it was a very active night. It was, I believe Brad said it was the most active he's ever seen the Geyer, and he's been there about 20 times. So it was a very active night. The energy was very active. Spirit was very on it, and that night, lots of interesting things. I wish I would have had my video rolling more often than I did, because there was a heck of a lot more I could have captured that night than I did. And that's going to be a video that I want to eventually compile and share with everybody.
When in a team, and it can also cause like the whole team to be different and have different things happen.
Yeah, like for ghost hunting?
Well, just in general. Whenever something happens in the team, it can cause things to change.
Yeah. So, like if somebody's affected by one thing one way,
yeah,
everybody's going to react to it differently.
Yeah.
Like in the field, somebody gets possessed. You know what possession is?
Taking control or something.
Yeah. So somebody gets possessed, right? Somebody getting possessed, that person that's possessed, I say this because I don't think it's very common. Not at least at these locations we've been at. They could just freak out. They could just lose their mind, right? They could just, there's other people that would be okay. They would be able to just kind of let it go. I think a lot of people freak out more than anything from what I see. Y'all freak out too easily. Some of you guys freak out, and I love it though. It makes for a good night, makes for an interesting night. But I get it. I mean, you know what's the most scary thing about the paranormal is the fact that all our experiences are unexplained, and the unknown to the human mind is terrifying. That's why so many people are terrified of death, because it's the unknown for most, and that's why they're scared of it. Yeah, bats. Fuck bats. I hate bats.
That's so cute.
Oh, you like bats?
I like every animal.
Well, I like animals too, but I don't like bats. Ugh. So, Aurora, what do you think would make a good team if you're out ghost hunting?
People who aren't dumb.
People who aren't dumb. I love it. I laugh. I'm sure there's people watching right now laughing because you have no idea, girlfriend. People are dumb. Anybody else?
Not you.
Okay, she's done.
Okay, I'm done now. Bye.
She's being a butt now. I love you. Bye. So people are dumb. I guess that's the number one thing you don't want. But defining dumb depends on a person, you know? So whoever else is, I've met a lot of dumb. So whoever else is there, you know, everybody's different. Everybody has experiences. You might hear something come out of somebody's mouth like, that's stupid. But somebody else might hear it coming out of their mouth and be like, oh my God, really? Like, that's awesome. Like you just have to be, I think on a team, you have to be respectful of each other and know what you're getting into. Okay. Even if you like somebody or don't like somebody, that's a part of your team, just don't make a thing of it. Make it personal between you two, whatever you need to do. But the thing is, like, I know a lot of teams that are actually been together for years, and those teams are usually the small teams that have been friends for a while. It's not usually an issue. Like, I don't see a lot of like cattiness as much anymore as I used to. Now, that may be because I don't get involved in teams anymore, although I am with things. I am part of their team, but I don't have that issue with that team. Things is pretty widespread. We get together when we need to get together. We help when we need to help, and we go from there. A lot's been going on, obviously, as you all know, in Jeremy's life. It's pretty much since I joined the team. I think it was like a month after I joined when he had his accident. And so he's had a lot going on. So we haven't been able to do a lot as a team. But I've not seen a lot of that cattiness. I've not seen a lot of that. Maybe people do behind people's back. I don't know. But you're going to see that when you are with anybody, like any people, like you get a large gathering of people. That's just how it works. So teams, do I recommend them? Yes and no. It's not for everybody. Your team is like family now. That's another thing that I like to hear. I like to hear when you're like family because there's so many reasons for that. When you treat your team members as if they're family, as if they're a good family member, okay, because everybody's family is different. Again, everybody's family is different, just like everybody's team is different. I'm talking positive in a positive family environment, right? If your team is like a positive family environment, absolutely, that's awesome. You guys take care of each other. You guys do all that stuff. So that's wonderful. Yeah, so there's a lot of good things to having a team. There's a lot of bad things to having a team, and you just have to decide, what works, what vibes, who gets along with who, all that stuff. Another thing I wouldn't recommend is investing hugely in a team when you're first starting, because teams do tend to disband. You may be friends with somebody and you decide, hey, let's start a team together. And things go good for the first 6 months, and you decide to buy shirts and decals and all this stuff. You're going to go to Paracons, you book all these locations, and then things fall through. You just lost your deposits. You just lost all your money that you invested in on your equipment, on your merch, all that stuff. So really take it slow. Just like any relationship, we should be taking it slow, guys. Absolutely. I do want to ask, I don't have a lot of viewers on tonight, which these open discussion shows are kind of like hit or miss. It depends on what the topic is of the night. And I didn't know how teams would go over, so I thought I'd chat about this. But I am going to ask, because I want to ask you guys about your teams. Brad, you're making some comments there. I really like that. And not even just as a team, but has there been a group of people that you've investigated with that either is a part of your team, you have a team, wonderful people. What is it about them that are on your team that makes you want to keep investigating with them? What is it about the people that you have investigated with that were previously on your team that you hated, that you are so glad you don't investigate with them anymore? And you did it because you were on a team, or you always got together as that group. Hey, sister. Speaking of the devil, there's my twinsy. Look, Scarlett, I have your cup tonight. She got this for me for Mother's Day. It says, a sister is God's way to making sure we never walk alone or get born alone. We were womb buddies. That's what we call each other, womb buddies. I was born first, just so you know. But apparently, the baby that I was told, the twin that's born first, is the fat baby, which was true. I was the fat baby. But yeah, so that's my sister. I actually asked her to be on the show tonight, but she's so rude and she has like mommy stuff to do or some crap. So what's your guys' dream team? Do you guys have a dream team? Do you guys have like the idea of the ideal team? Because I wrote dream team back here. Because I'm just wondering, what's your dream team? I guess my dream team, I don't know. Gosh, what would my dream team be? Yeah, you had a taxi. You had to be a mom. Ugh, so lame. Get it right. I guess I don't know that I could even envision a dream team. Like, what would I want on a dream team? You know what? I think on my dream team, I would want somebody who loves to listen to EVPs, who loves to edit video and watch all the video. I would want somebody who would love to basically take all the equipment stuff and do all the work with that so that I could upload. Because I want to do content stuff, but guys, I don't got no time to sit and listen to those EVPs. I ain't got no time to watch all these videos. I'm a mother. As you see, my daughter was in here. I work full time, like the majority of people do in this field because we have to, otherwise we can't afford it. And I just don't get time. I don't want to consume myself with doing that. I love watching other people's listening to other people's EVPs and watching other people's videos. I enjoy that. I don't want to be the person who has to go through it and edit it and all that crap. I don't want to do it. I want to be the person. So my dream team, I would be just the person who just gets to be the medium. Like I could just go investigate. I'll have a flashlight so I can at least see where I'm walking, right? And I could just be a medium. Like I don't have to do anything else. But I do like to play with gadgets too. So, occasionally mess around with gadgets. But ideally in my dream team, I would just be a medium. And somebody else to do all the gadget stuff. And somebody else to do all the editing. And somebody else. And somebody else would be the person who goes where the bats are. I never have to go near them. So, like Waverly Hills, went to Waverly in the first floor. I don't know if it's this way anymore. The first floor was like a ton of bats. I went in July. It was storming. It was hot. It was fun. But there were a shit ton of bats on the first floor. If I could have somebody who would just go do all that for me, so I don't have to go down that damn hallway and, whatever. Yeah. I could hire I don't know, like a bat spotter or something. My dream team would include a bat spotter. Somebody just make sure there's no bats nearby. Okay, that is partly why I have some of my teammates. Matt loves EVPs and John likes to review video. Yeah, I know, Brad. I know. You know what? I need to borrow your guys sometime. Because they do. That's a good setup. You have somebody who enjoys doing EVPs. You have somebody who enjoys videos. Now, the thing is, for some people, that's not important because they don't care about putting content out there. I actually want to share my journey with everybody. That's why I have a platform online. I want to share that with you guys. But in order to do that, I have to sit down and I have to sit down and listen. I have to sit down and watch. And then I have to edit. And then I have to do it's very time consuming. So for those of you that do it, mad respect. Tennis racket. I guess my dream team can include a tennis racket. Maybe that's all I need is a tennis racket. And somebody sit over my head like, you're fine. It's just a bat. I'll get it. My luck though, they'd actually whack me in the head. Hey, Travis, what's up? What's up? So what would your dream team include, guys? Or do you prefer to be alone. You prefer to be an individual in the field. I don't mind doing my own thing. I don't mind working on my own projects. Unveil Paranormal, if you don't know. Some of you should know this because you watch the shows. Unveil Paranormal is not a team. Which usually they are teams when you find such and such name paranormal on platforms. Unveil Paranormal is me. Just me. That's all it is. It's me. It's my platform that I use because I used to have my name Medium Empath Clarissa. I wanted to add the paranormal aspect because I want to bring in more than just spirituality into my journey. I want to talk equipment. I want to talk cryptids. I want to talk aliens. I want to talk about it, all things paranormal. And I chose the name Unveil because I want to unveil it. I almost use the word reveal, but then not reveal. Unveil. We're going to unveil the paranormal. So that's kind of why I chose the name. I did try to do the whole acronym thing because there's a lot of people who do acronyms for their paranormal names. I could not come up with nothing. So, I will investigate with almost anyone. I have a short list of hell no's and some never agains. I don't know. I have to think about that because so Brad and me have this conversation about somebody who investigates with anybody. They don't care who's there. Brad referred to it as a paranormal whore or a para-whore. So there was that conversation we had. And then I thought, wow, Brad's a para-whore. And I thought, am I a para-whore? Because I know I too am that way where I'm like, I'll investigate with just about anybody. But over the years, I don't know if I have a list of hell no's or never agains, though. I mean, there's people I would prefer not to investigate with. I would avoid investigating with them. But most buildings are big enough I could just go one direction, they can go the other. They don't need to know that I don't want to investigate with them. I could just not investigate with them, So, I mean, they don't need to know that. They don't need to know that there's somebody that I'm like, oh God, they're at this investigation. Like, I mean, there's probably one person y'all could think of that I would never want to investigate with again. That's probably about it. But that's one person I would never want to ever flip and see again. So those are the hell no's. So Brad, your hell no's are the people that I would show up to an investigation with, but I would go in the opposite direction as them. Those are your hell no's. I get it. I have a really small list of that, actually. I've had a lot of... Jeremy has some hell no's. Welcome, Jeremy, by the way. We were talking about you a little bit earlier. And we're talking about things. I'm talking about team dynamics, Jeremy, and you are the founder of Things. I promise you I have not shit-talked the team. I did talk about my first experience with the team, though. So you may have missed that, but I appreciate you jumping in here, Jeremy. Now I can't say anything bad about Things. But yeah, definitely, there's definitely people I would avoid investigating with. Another thing I hate. Yeah, Brad, it's because you're so catty. I'm just kidding. You're not. You can trust me on that. Yeah. No, I mean, everybody's so busy and with things that we don't get together near enough time as we should. Yeah, I didn't realize the time. Oh, yeah. The time changed, guys. As you can tell, it is daylight outside, so you can see through my curtain. So, yeah, it's definitely changed. Ooh, Travis, you got some information here? Let me see. I don't mind doing stuff alone. Just like to have others around to validate that happened. Like when I was on that Mackey's and I was in a room alone, and it got super cold, and my cat ball lights were drained. I called a friend down. there and his girlfriend to verify the room was super cold. Yeah. So that's a positive thing about having a team. Yeah, you don't want to just go wandering off by yourself. I mean, you can. I'm like, I don't tell people they shouldn't go wander off by themselves in a haunted location anymore. I used to say that. I used to say, no, buddy up. What's it called? The buddy system, right? The buddy system. But I don't do that anymore unless I feel uncomfortable. I had fun on investigation. We went together. It was quite interesting. Yeah. Scarlett, I should have had you on here and you could have told everybody about your first investigation ever and how awesome it was. But it was so awesome, though, that Scarlett still went to sleep at 2 p.m. or 2 a.m. Literally, okay, so I did tell a funny story. I don't know if I should tell this story or not. I don't know if I'll ever get the video up, but yeah, I will say this. Okay, guys, weird thing. Before I talk about the story with Scarlett, about Brad's comment here, I do want to say this. So 2 years ago, maybe, I booked an old funeral home and was not really part of a team. And so me and my ex at the time went together, and I showed up, and I was like, because when I booked it, I said, well, I sent in my team, I said, well, me and my team's going to come and investigate. Because I'm like, I think it's weird if there's just 2 of us here, right? To me, it's not weird, but, So literally when we showed up with just me and him, the caretaker looked at me and he's like, it's just you two? And I'm like, yeah? Is that a problem? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if venue owners are weary of that. That guy was like, what? Because I didn't show up there with 4 or 5 people. Thank God I did. That freaking funeral home was tiny. So I'm glad I did show up there with a big team. It was just 2 people, and that's all we really needed, if even that, So I did want to make comment about that. So I don't know. I don't know if I could book a location solo. I could probably talk to a venue owner that knows me personally. Like Brad, you know a lot of venue owners personally, and they would probably let you book it. But I don't think somebody just off the streets that the venue owner doesn't know personally would allow somebody come in there solo. They'd probably find that suspicious. I would think. 2 people, yeah, Jeremy, absolutely. 2 people. Sometimes that's all you need is 2 people. I mean, 2 people's fine. I would not mind booking a location and just having me and 1 friend. I would do that. Just so that you have somebody at least in the building, just in case something happens. So. Oh yeah, back to story time with Scarlett. So let's talk about teams. This is another thing about teams, guys, is everybody sleeps at different times. So you got third shifters, you got day shifters, all that fun stuff. So whether or not a team member can make it all night, you never know. You never know. See, Brad was the exact opposite. So my sister, she enjoyed her hunt. Don't get me wrong, but she was up since 7 a.m. that day, and so she went to bed about 2 a.m. So I don't blame her. Let's see, that was Saturday, so I probably woke up at 9, 10 o'clock that day. But I stayed up to I think 4 or 5. Brad never slept that night. That was true. Yeah, Brad stayed up all night. Guys, I was so tired that night. So I went to sleep on my cot next to my sister's cot at 4 or 5 o'clock. And then I bought this new speaker for my S-Box. And the stupid thing started going off at 6:30 in the morning. And it was because the battery was dying on it. Because for some reason, I must have left it on all night and didn't realize it. So the battery's going dead, so it beeps. And I didn't know this because I just bought the speaker for the the SB7. So it was beeping from 6:30 in the morning to almost 7:30 in the morning, every 2 minutes, like Brad said. And Brad, he just left it freaking beeping for that like whole freaking hour. He could hear it. So I actually didn't get up. Like, I am a snoozer. So I have at minimum of 4 alarms every morning that I have to get up early. I am a snoozer. I will snooze. That's what I do. So the beeping to me was just like another alarm clock. I'll ignore it. It'll go away. All that stuff, right? Okay. But Brad freaking leaves it beeping for an hour and he's up. Damn you. So then at 7:30 rolls around, I have to get up. Because I'm like, I cannot freaking stand this beeping anymore. I can stand a few beeps, but it was just going off and it was driving me nuts. So I get up and I think there's like an alarm system in the building. Somebody's like looking around on the first floor. I'm like, where the heck is this? Beeping. Found it in my case, beeping like crazy. All I do is turn it off. That's it. Bradley, all you had to do was turn it off and then I could have slept in. So obviously I was up at 7:30 that day and I was a little annoyed. If you know me personally, you'll know this. I am not a morning person. I hate mornings. In a perfect world, I would go to bed when I want. I will wake up when I want. And then I'll work. I'll work my 8 hours, but let me go to bed when I want and wake up when I want, okay? I'll be happy with that. I'm more like a second shifter, not a third shifter. I don't stay up all night, but I'm more kind of like a second shifter. So anyways, it was so stupid though because I was so tired. It was freezing cold. They told us that the thermostat was stuck at 60 degrees. It was freezing. It was definitely not 60 degrees in there. So I grab my blanket and I'm like freezing. If you've ever been to the Geyer, you have the first floor and then the second floor is where the stage and stuff are. So I wrap myself in my blanket and I go look for Brad. So I'm like, where the fuck did he go? My sister's still asleep because she slept this whole time. Even when weird shit was happening in the building, she just kept sleeping and snoring. And I'm all wrapped in my blanket and Brad's upstairs. So I go upstairs and I'm literally talking to him, guys. This is kind of funny and kind of weird at the same time. So I was so tired at this point. I know we're talking about teams, but I got to tell a story. And I'm talking to Brad and I decide to lay down on the floor because I'm still so tired. I literally fell asleep like a few minutes after I laid my head on the freaking floor. So I slept on the second floor of the Geyer, just on the floor. I didn't have a pillow. I just had my blanket. I think Brad ended up giving me his hoodie or something, though, at some point now. I slept for about 2 hours on the floor with nothing. I was exhausted. It was a good night. It really was. I'm going to jump back here at these comments here, guys. Let's see. I'm ready to get back in and out investigate. This is the last weekend of my son's show choir competition state. Travis. I enjoy investigating with you and your son. You should definitely check out some of the events I have coming up. I have one April 1st. I have the other one is in June and the other one's in July. You should come join us. Definitely. There's tickets available out there. LOL. That's what I used to do as well. Snooze for an hour. Yep. That's Brad ran upstairs. Yep. You didn't turn it off. You ran upstairs. Never had been a morning person. So yeah, I was the worst. And it's gone back at me. My daughter is just like me in the mornings. It is a nightmare getting her up. And that's a true story. Flip my bed, whatever, shake me, whatever you got to do to get up for school. Because I was not getting up. I just was not. I've never been a morning person. The dressing room was so hard to sleep in. I'm surprised you got to sleep. Yeah, Jeremy, I remember that. We were actually talking about that night at the Geyer. We were trying to figure out which dressing room you slept in that night last summer. That was funny. Yeah. I saw snoring away when you went upstairs, Scarlett. I don't snore. I do talk in my sleep, though. My daughter, she's my mini-me. I swear everything I did or do, she does. She too talks in her sleep, but she's also very violent in her sleep. I'm not violent, but that girl, she will kick you, she will punch you, she will do all sorts of stuff. She's a bed hog, she's a pillow hog, she's a blanket hog. I do not like sleeping next to that girl. Okay, you're going to Wildwood Sanatorium. Oh, and Hinsdale. Yes, please. I want to go. Yes. Who are you going with? Are you going with that one team that you promote? It was second or third from the... Yeah, I couldn't remember which one you were in. Brad, you're so full of crap. Shh, don't tell anybody I snore. Use a super soaker on her. No! Don't give him any ideas. Wildwood and Hinsdale are awesome. You've been to those too? I want to go now. Have I ever met a shadow person or saw a shadow person? A shadow person as in like a shadow person, I'm assuming is your question. It's not just seeing a shadow on the wall of a spirit. There's a difference, guys. I don't know if you realize that, but there's actually a difference from a shadow of a spirit as opposed to a shadow person. There's actually a difference there. You've been to Wildwood 4 or 5 times. Where's Wildwood? Is that in Ohio? He did have holy water. I do not need squirt with holy water, dude. No. All right. So, hey, I'll answer your question. We're actually talking about teams tonight, but I will answer your question. I have seen shadows of people. As for seeing a shadow person, let me think here. I'm trying to think of a location if I've seen one. I want to say yes, but I don't know. Because if I think hard enough about it, it must not have been that impactful. It must not have been that scary. I want to say yes, but I don't know. I don't think I have a straight answer on that one. Because like I said, if it was that scary and that impactful, yeah. Spirit shows, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I've seen shadows. But a person that's a shadow person, I've seen, well, I don't know, some of the crawlers, people describe crawlers. A lot of those make me think of shadow people. I feel like a shadow person is not a person, but it's more of they morph into different shapes and beings. I don't know if there's actually a shadow person that's an actual person. I think them more of what is the word I'm thinking of when something morphs? I can't think what it is, but actually that's what I feel like they more are. I don't really feel like they are a person. We just call them shadow people. I feel like there's something that morphs. I don't think it's alien. I do think it's a type of spirit for sure. Oh, it's in New York. See, I think Hinsdale, however you say it. Hinsdale is like 6 hours from me, so that's definitely something I could do in a weekend if I wanted to. You have a photo of a shadow person, Fox Hollow. I want to see that. Hinsdale, him. Okay, gotcha. Where do you want to investigate? Where do you want to investigate, Travis? Morphs. Yeah, like a shapeshifter. I just don't. I don't know. I'm kind of torn about when I do readings for people compared to like when I do readings for people who lost loved one. A lot of the times the people are just people. But then when I go to locations, I'm not sure that some of those people are people. I kind of feel like if you're a medium and you know everything, which nobody should, well, then you're fake. But two, I don't know. I just don't. I don't think that mediums know what all entities are, what all different types of spirits are, what all different types of elementals are. Like it's a learning. Like every different type of entity that you approach that you never approached before is like a mystery. Like, it makes you curious. But the one thing is about them is they almost all emit energy that you can read. So you're going to know if it's safe. You're going to know if it's not safe, all that stuff. So that's kind of what the value is of a medium being there is, to feel out. And even a lot of humans can feel out that stuff. So 6-hour drive to Wildwood. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Oh, Fox Hollow. I don't know if you'd be able to get in Fox Hollow anytime soon, Travis, but that would be awesome. What was that you or just made the bang? I mean, I might have bumped my trash can that's under my desk. The Creek Rat Rose looks like an upper torso with no legs. I don't think I've ever seen the Creek Rat Rose. Hi, Jill. Jeremy says hi. What's up? She's adorable. Yeah. I don't know. That's another thing. Since we're supposed to be talking about teams, guys, spreading out at a location is kind of like really valuable when you hear such as, Jeremy just said, hey, you bumped, or he heard a bang. Well, he could hear a bang, but if nobody's upstairs, we don't know where that bang came from, right? But if somebody's upstairs and say that they're in the room where the bang came from, or they're in a room down the road or down the hallway where the bang came from, we can kind of identify, whoa, wait a second. Like, we know that these old locations have like old pipes or whatever, but it's kind of nice when you have a team because then you all can kind of spread out, and then you just got to be really careful about the sounds you make. But that is one thing. Oh my gosh, guys. I talked about my dream team. People I don't want on my team are people who talk a lot. I'm just going to say that right now. People who constantly talk and don't have control over their anxiety. I can say that because I have anxiety. I have diagnosed anxiety, guys. If you don't get control of your damn anxiety, I will flip out. I get it. Some of these locations are terrifying. Whatever. When I am trying to do a serious investigation and you're freaking out before the show even gets going, please, for the love of God, if you're in this field, get control of your anxiety and any other mental health disorder you have, okay? That is my PSA. We're talking about, because somebody asked me if I believed in shadow people. And I was talking about how I think, there's shadows of people, right? And then there's shadow people who actually think aren't people. They're like shapeshifters. So that's what we're talking about. Yeah. Yep, that's true. Yeah, they're not phantom sounds. So someone like Zach Bagans, I'm trying to imagine me and Zach Bagans in an investigation. Because I don't know that would go over well for him. There's a really weird thing about Zach and me. I kind of like the way he looks is kind of like, he's like totally a guy I'd be attracted to. But at the same time, he is so fucking annoying. So it'd be kind of one of those like, I feel like dating my ex. I guess I don't know. I said it. That's one girl tripped out so bad overboard, and she was supposed to be a medium. Oh my God. Knows the story. See, Jill gets it. She only watched him because he's cute. She gets it. Which one is that, Jill? Oh, he doesn't know which one you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, true story. That's funny that Jill mentions that. You will have people who claim to be sensitives that freak out. God, I don't know. Let me know if you ever investigate with me and I freaked out. I did kind of freak out at the geyer, but that's because the story I was going to tell you guys that I didn't get a chance to tell you. Long story short, towards the end of our investigation, we had something run up on us, something you couldn't see, and it was so loud and so convincing that my sister, who was sleeping next door to where we were, I freaked out because, oh my God, my sister's next door. Did somebody just break in? Like, what is happening? Like, at first, because it was so like, you could have swore somebody was running in there. Yeah. That's the story I was going to tell earlier. What do you mean you know so many stories about Zach? How do you know so many stories about Zach? Like, you like the secret ends to the Zach Bagans? Yeah, she didn't hear a thing. My sister was the one sleeping in the other room. Didn't hear a damn thing. Not at all. The cemetery was paired with a girl who super tripped out by a ghost bumping into her. Jeremy doesn't remember it. Oh, I do have another thing, guys, talking about my dream team. Probably 50% of the paranormal population is not going to like this. I will say that. Probably 50% of you. Another person I would not have on my team is a stoner, is somebody who does drugs and likes to do them on investigations. I am not a fan of going under the influence on an investigation. Some say, oh, well, they used to do it, say Native Americans, which I love Native American stuff. That's why I got so many of this stuff going on. Well, they used to smoke it, and then they'd see spirits or whatever. Well, they used to smoke it, and they used to hallucinate. Right. So my problem with going under the influence and doing investigations, my biggest problem with it is you can't differentiate. That's the word I want to use, but I can't say it. Differentiate between what is spirit and what is hallucination. Oh my God. Somebody say it for me. Hallucination. Why? Oh my gosh, this is a word I can't say that I didn't know I couldn't say. Hallucination. I can't say it. Y'all know what I mean. So yeah, that is when it comes to my dream team, somebody who goes under the influence to investigate will not be on my team. I will, if it's my investigation, it's my team, they be out. I don't care that you drove 6 hours to get here. Drive your high ass out back home, so that's how I feel. Yeah, I do. This is new, and it's macrame, but it has like feathers on it and stuff, so I love it. Hallucination. Whatever. I can't say the word, don't matter. Oh, what do you mean? You've been quiet and hiding a lot lately. What the flip are you talking about? Where have you been? The only thing I heard was my camera kept going off with that investigation. No druggies allowed on the team. Oh, you must be talking about Jill. All right. Okay, guys, so we covered quite a bit about, I know I'm like reading through this. I'm like, y'all having side conversations over here? Am I not entertaining enough? Jam. No, it's good. Tea is your drug. That's what I have right here. I have sweet tea. Sweet tea. Ghost hunting is my drug. Investigating is my drug. I need to go to Ghost Hunting Anonymous because it is seriously, I'm surprised I don't have more book than I have right now. So, yeah, I know. You're so rude. Nah, that's fine. Oh, yeah. It's sweet tea, Jill. Sweet tea 100%. I can't remember where you're at, Jill. I think you're out west, but I'm from Indiana, but I like Southern sweet tea. We call Southern sweet tea like sweet sugar, pure sugar tea. That's what I like. Brad's always got investigation. All right, guys. So we're going to wrap this up, okay? So thank you all for jumping in on here. And we talked about team dynamics, good things, bad things about being a team. Hopefully by the end of this show, you kind of have a better idea of whether or not you want to be a part of a team, don't want to be a part of a team. Hey, it's all right to go solo. Be solo if you need to be solo. My family ain't into all that, Travis. They ain't into the spooky. They're weird. So, with all that said, everybody, I do want to thank you all for jumping in down here tonight. And as always, go show me some love on these platforms. Okay, I appreciate a follow and a like. And be sure to check out the events. Here's one of them that's coming up in October. Show some love to that, to the vendors that will be there, or be a vendor. Just go ahead and find the website there and Perry the Paracon on Facebook. I hope you all can be there. And I hope to see you all, show my face here, on the next one. Good night, everybody.